is Detroit Bob. Welcome back to the RockMine. In this episode, I'm going to call Highway 61 Revisited. We're going to the heartland, the mighty Mississippi River. We're going to do a little Davenport. We're going to do a little Moline, and we're going to do some Rock Island. But seriously, this area is just loaded with rock and roll history. A lot of songs have popped up just based on the imagery and the experiences of the bluesmen, the rock and rollers. We may even drive by Call Ballroom where Jimi Hendrix played in 1968. We're going to see where B.B. King played, Stevie Ray Vaughan on the Mississippi River, and also where everybody from Nirvana to R.E.M. to the Bee Gees played over in Davenport. Ultimately, we're looking for that Holy Grail 45, the original Beatles on Vee-Jay records. We're going to stop in some of my usual dives out here, and we're going to find some really, really cool 45s. So stick with me. This is going to be a great episode. Strap down, get ready, and let's do it. Got the mighty Mississippi River behind me, and you can just almost feel things slow down. If you think back 150 years ago, where steamboats were going up and down this river, and before there was Highway 61, this was the river you took up and down from Minnesota all the way to New Orleans. And a lot of the original Beck's, Beck, Jasmine were playing on those riverboats and then playing in the little towns up and down the Mississippi River. All right, behind me you see the famous Adler Theater. Been around since the 1920s. Great venue with incredible architecture. I was lucky enough to see B.B. King there with a full band in 1986, I believe it was. So we'll be checking out that place in a little bit. Hey, I'm on the roof of the old Putnam building, and we're on Highway 61 right here on the mighty Mississippi River. So this is really ground zero. We're going to get in some really cool thrift stores, some record stores. We're going to find some good old vinyl right in here in the heart of it all. So stick with us. It's going to be a great episode, and let's find some hidden gems in Davenport, Iowa. All right, we're looking over the Mississippi. Beautiful night.
Would you like to try?
Got a lot of people up here on the rooftop.
I learned by observing. I test this, everyone
All right, tomorrow's the day.
But you taught us to keep on moving with your
I was walking along in front of the famous Adler Theater in the rain, so it's sort of cool. Saw B.B. King here in 1986 with the full band. And it's the first time I ever saw blues live. So this is a real ancient theater. It's an awesome place. All right, we painted the town red, and we've had a great time. We've set the scene, but it's morning, and I got a headache. I've already run into New Wave Dave, Rockin' Jim, even Dr. Love, and I saw Silver over at the frat house. I need a cup of coffee, and I need it bad if we're going to make headway here. I still don't have any vinyl. Here's my coffee shop. So let me load up on a little caffeine. The sun's coming up over the Mississippi. Beautiful skyline, these old buildings. And hey, I got somewhere I want to show you first before we head off to the record store. So I think you're going to like this place. It's the old Masonic Temple. Palmer has bought this old, beautiful limestone structure, but it housed a lot of bands and put on a lot of shows back in the 60s, even into the 50s. The Love and Spoonful, the Association, Tommy James, Tina Turner, Paul Revere and the Raiders, the Turtles with Buffalo Springfield. Can you imagine that? Richie Havens, what? you would go up those stairs with your ticket in hand, and if you were like me, you were sitting up in the nosebleed seats or the cheap seats. But back in the 60s, those were only like $2.50. So the same records, the 45s that I collect today, your local DJ probably on WOC was playing and spinning those. So you would come down here and see these shows of your favorite band that you heard on the radio. And it's a great amphitheater type seating. Fortunately, Palmer College of Chiropractic has bought this building and has preserved it. But back then you would have heard Blue Oyster Cult playing Don't Fear the Reaper instead of Dr. Marchiori talking about the future of healthcare. But you can just get a feel of what it was like. Unfortunately, a lot of these places have been bulldozed across America. But this one, it's in good hands. I was happy to go in. Oh, yeah, I got a round of golf in with Buzz and the boys, so that's always good. You gotta have.
All right, we see the mighty Mississippi down here in the distance, and we're heading down 2nd Street in Davenport, and we're gonna hit the record store now. So Ragged Records has been around a long time. It's a really cool record store. We'll see what they got. All right, just off the banks of the mighty Mississippi, outside of the old Anderson Paper Company. Cool building. We're just coming around the corner. We're gonna hit these record shops down this way, and we're gonna start with this one right here. Wish me luck.
All right, when you go into a record store, expect anything from cold indifference down to STFU. But they pointed me in the right direction towards the 45 section. I had to dig a little bit, but here I am. This first box, a lot of indie, sort of newer punk stuff. A lot of great artwork, but nothing that you really know. Not really into this genre that much, so I'm flipping through pretty quick. But I've gotten to the point where I can go through these boxes pretty quick with one hand and film with the other. So I'm not seeing anything that's jumping out at me. If the Green Day was in there, or it's something 80s punk, Violent Femmes, I would jump all over it, but not really. Beatles. Beatles. Okay, so we're in the right spot. It's newer stuff, though. It's more Capitol stuff. But hey, yeah, I'll take it. The box full of records. Hey, Vee-Jay, right there. Look at that. You want to know a secret? A little bit later pressing, I can tell by the print and the Vee-Jay in the brackets. So we're getting a little older. I'm seeing some of the rainbow label stuff, but still the bracket. I want the oval with Vee-Jay spelled out horizontally. Yes, what's that doing in there? Okay, you got some Iggy in there too. But some interesting, they do have somewhat of a beat. Oh, here we go. This is a better box yet. So I'm on this third box, and now you're getting into the picture sleeve. Picture sleeves command a higher price. Some of these are sleeve only. Some of them are EPs. So you really got to know what you're buying. So you could just spend your whole life collecting Beatles records, let alone Beatles 45s. So I'm looking for Vee-Jay. I'm looking for Beatles number 498 with the double T. Look at that, Vee-Jay with the bracket. Now I've never seen that sleeve, and it's got some age and some wear and tear, so it's interesting. It's not quite where I want to be, but we're getting closer. Ooh, Vee-Jay with the bracket. A little bit closer. Come on. It's gotta be in here. Vee-Jay, another one of those black label with the silver stripes. Older, I haven't seen a lot of that. I'll look it up later. It's like an EP. So they were just trying to crank out as much of the Beatles material they had while they still had the right to do it. And Vee-Jay, there's the black letter. What I got? Hang on. What's this? Another Vee-Jay with the bracket. I'm getting close. Look at that. That's that label I'm looking for. Come on, let it be. That's a 581. It says right there. Ooh, look at this. Promising. It's got the oval. It's got the white Vee-Jay lettering. Could it be? Let it be 498. Come on. It's 581. It certainly doesn't have the two T's in Beatles. Man. Come on. Yeah, it's got the rainbow circle. It's $24. I think I actually have a copy of this. So this is a later pressing, but I can't get discouraged. Hey, I picked up a half dozen records today that we'll sum up later when we get home. It's funny because I ended up coming all the way to Davenport, Iowa, and one of the records I got is from Japan. So I'm not going to get... Hey, this is Detroit Bob. Am I disappointed that I didn't find Beatles Vee-Jay 498? Yeah, but I found a 581. I need to do better research and get more info. So I got a hold of our librarians here locally, and they're finding me a rare out-of-print book about the Beatles that's coming from interlibrary loan. That, plus I've picked up a great gig DJing at the frat house for next year. And you know what? I still came home with the half-dirty dozen of great 45s, of which I'm going to pick out the gem of the week. So stick around. All right, Detroit Bob back at you. I realized I had to up my game if I was ever going to find the Beatles 498 on Vee-Jay Records. So I got some new glasses. I got the ear pods. I got the new lighting. So we're going to kick some ass, and we're going to find this thing. So stick with me. I did find a great gem of the week out in the Quad City, so we're going to review that in a minute. So hang in there. I'll show it to you, and don't go anywhere. All right, Detroit Bob, let's sum up what I came home with. You got Lucinda Williams, great guitar player, great alt country, outlaw country, singer, songwriter, great shape. You don't get alt country. You don't get Lucinda Williams 45s that look that clean. Freakwater, they got me on the design, sort of the paper bag cover. Anything with Dwight Yoakam's name on it, I'm buying. Jeff Beck, Love is Blue. You got to love Jeff Beck, but you got to love this vinyl. Look at the blue vinyl. It's on an old promo label. It's a reissue, but it's beautiful. Going to love that. Quiet Kinks. The song that caught my eye is Well Respected Man. And I love this. It's going to be peeled open real quick and be put on my turntable. And all the way from Japan, the Call Up by The Clash. And we're going to maybe see this in a few minutes. It could be in the running. So all in all, I paid this, and this is what they're worth. So I got a good half dozen. Detroit Bob is happy. All right, Detroit Bob back at you. The disc that I was talking about is the Clash Call Up. Now you remember the Clash from the 80s, right? Do you remember the Call Up? This was from the triple album that followed up London Calling. So it's a great disc. Really, really good stuff on the cover art. Now in the Japanese pressings, you don't necessarily get a sleeve in the traditional sense. You get a cover slip, both sides glossy, and then the sleeve itself is back like that. So it looks pretty cool. This is a great record, great condition. I'd say maybe played once. You got to look at it close. It's really, really nice record. The thing about it is when this came out in 1980, this was a Japan pressing. I never really bought 45s at that time, but I was really interested in the album that it came off of, which was Sandinista. It was a triple album. The genre is electronic, rock. The style is new wave punk. I agree with that. The flip side, Stop the World. How cool is that? Never heard it? I'm going to hear it. If you go on the Discogs site, though, you can click at the bottom, and they have the YouTube link to the video of Call Up. And it's sort of wild and moody, and, you know, Joe Strummer's definitely worried that there's some kind of movement going on that he doesn't want to be any part of, and he's telling his fans, don't be part of it either. It's really, really a good record. The value is $21. I paid $25, but if you tried to get this from Japan into the US, you would pay $25 on top of the cover price. So I've seen it listed as high as $38 on Discogs. 73 people have it, 93 want it. Whenever the wants are more than the haves, that's supply and demand. So this is a big disc. Detroit Bob is happy. He's getting closer to finding the Beatles on Vee-Jay, number 498 with misspelled with the 2 T's. So we're going to keep looking. I'm going to up my game from the glasses all the way down to the billfold until we find this baby. Good seeing you. Stay tuned. We got episodes coming up from Florida, from Michigan, from France, from New Orleans. You're not going to want to miss them. Detroit Bob signing out. See you next time.